Hey gang, in order to properly ring in the spooky season this time of year in Frau's classroom, I've decided to throw together a short little video explaining two Roman myths, one of which you may not have heard of before. While the ancient Romans didn't exactly have jack-o'-lanterns to bright up their streets at night, they certainly were able to brighten their moods with spooky stories about ghosts and witches and monsters. Now, I'm going to start with one myth that you've definitely heard of before, and if you haven't, well, this is your introduction to it. I'm going to talk a little about Arachne. So Arachne was a member of Roman society who was very, very well liked because she was very good at weaving tapestries. Now, if you don't know what a tapestry is, I guess you've been living under a rock for the past ever, because they are one of the most liked forms of art in the ancient world. So basically, it was just weaving. That's about it. That's all there is to it. But she was really good at it. It's so good, in fact, some would say that she'd been blessed by the gods, which turned out to actually be true when she got a little too big for her britches. What happened is she was bragging way too much about how she was so good she could even take down the goddess Minerva in a weaving competition, to which an old lady popped out of the crowd of people who was around her and said, "Oh, you maybe shouldn't be blaspheming against the gods like that." But Arachne, she wasn't one to just back off like that. She, in fact, doubled down and started talking crap, saying if Athena, or Minerva, was so good, why didn't she just come down here right now and challenge her herself? To which the old lady promptly dropped her disguise, revealing herself to be the goddess. And then the competition commenced. And, well, but would you have it? Lo and behold, she actually won. That's right. Most depictions say that Athena was way, way better at weaving than this foolish mortal could even comprehend, and absolutely destroyed her in her hubris. But most source materials actually say that Arachne was a far better weaver than Minerva, and being a sore loser, Minerva turned her into a spider, which is where we get the word arachnid from. Now, in modern depictions, Arachne is often portrayed as a slightly or very attractive woman with only a few spider-like features to her. See, this isn't exactly true. The only thing that I can really say while words can't exactly describe what I'm about to show you, I think it's just best to do that right now. This is the closest thing I could find to an accurate depiction of what Arachne looked like post-transformation. And I have just but one thing to say. What the is that? You're looking at that thing and telling me that even slightly resembles a spider? I mean, sure, it's got 6 legs, which isn't 8 legs, because that's where it comes from. I don't even know what this thing is in front of me anymore, but have fun sleeping on this tonight. That's all I can say. Anyway, my next myth, and my last one, unfortunately, is about a very cool dude named Thelyphron. Thelyphron is an ancient Roman hero who you definitely never heard of, because he only did pretty much one thing. Now, Thelyphron, he had a bit of a problem, you see. He was sort of like commissioned to protect a city, which was, believe it or not, one of the only things that the movie Hercules got right about Greek heroes. Oftentimes, they would just center around a city, and they would protect it from monsters, or demons, or witches, or what have you, right? See, the town that Thelyphron was protecting had a little bit of a problem with witches. They were often just stealing and desecrating corpses, for whatever witch reasons they wanted, and Thelyphron was commissioned by an old lady to protect the corpse of her husband. The whole thing kind of is just like a really, really bad spin-off of Weekend at Bernie's, but with a lot less tax fraud. So Thelyphron, not one to pass up on an opportunity to prove himself to the local public, goes up to this old lady's house and spends the night protecting her husband's corpse. Now, eventually at one point, a bird flies into the room, and he gets a little bit ADHD and starts chasing it around, which makes him very, very tired, and he soon falls asleep. Flash forward to the next day, he wakes up and is feeling very confident. The corpse is still intact, everything is fine, and he's gonna get paid. So, after he gets his money and is getting ready to walk out, he goes outside and sees what else but an angry mob. Bet you weren't expecting that one. See, it turns out the public had been poking their nose where it didn't belong and had some suspicions about this whole dead husband thing. See, the wife, apparently, in the eyes of the public, didn't actually love her husband and had killed him in order to collect some money for his death. As, believe it or not, insurance fraud has been a thing for quite some time. Now, here's the issue with that. What happens when the public accuses you of something like this? Do you get your witness to say that you were in the house and this could never have happened? No! You call a necromancer, and that's just what they did. See, the necromancer comes over, resuscitates the corpse, and the zombie says, yes, my wife did poison me, and she's promptly hauled away. But before he can go back to rest, he turns to Thelyphron and gives him a very nice revelation. You dead, son? That witch that you were trying to protect me from did come in last night. That was the bird you were chasing around. And she was so mad that she couldn't get my body, she turned your head into wax, my guy. You're just on a ticking time bomb. And as soon as this is revealed, his face promptly crushes like that one Nazi in the Indiana Jones movie. And that's the end of the story. So, I think there's a lot we can learn from this. Mainly that, as long as a story has some meaning to it at the end, whether it be don't get too big for your britches, or don't commit tax fraud, there's always something we can take away from these myths, no matter how silly they may seem. That and the needless body horror, which in my opinion, is the best part. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.